The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Every 8 Hours. I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that you're staying safe and taking care of yourself and your loved ones. Tonight's episode will be about 24-year-old Deandrea Funchess out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Deandrea was a 24-year-old single mother of 2 children. She was described as the life of the party and the person everyone would want to hang around with. However, once she became a mother, her mom states that she totally turned her life around. Instead of being the life of the party, she was more settled down, taking care of her kids. She got a job at a nursing home, and her and the father of her children settled down in Hartwell, Ohio. Everyone was proud of her for changing her life around and taking care of her kids and becoming the family-oriented person that she was. And to everyone's shock, on the morning of February 15th of 2022, Deandrea was found unresponsive. Police received a call about a person who was deceased inside a residence in Hartwell. They found 24-year-old Deandrea Funchess in an unresponsive state. So initially, to her surprise, DeAndrea's mother was told that her daughter died of a drug overdose. And because she didn't know her daughter to be on drugs or use drugs in that manner, and that her daughter was changing her life around to make an effort to be the best mom that she could be, she didn't believe this. So it went on with her daughter's kid's father saying that this was the cause of death as well, that she died from a drug overdose. But on July 13th of 2022, 6 months after the death of Deandrea Funchess, that narrative changed.
Family had been in contact with him for months. This is because he shares 2 children with Deandrea, and they were just wanting to see and speak with those grandchildren, not knowing he was suspected of killing her. And we do need to warn you, some of the details in this story are disturbing.
It's really a shocker right now to find out that he's responsible for this.
Bernadette Davis is still grieving the loss of her daughter, 24-year-old Deandrea Funchess.
She didn't deserve this. Whatever the situation was, like this, she didn't deserve this.
Deandrea died in February at the home she shared with her boyfriend, Mazio Arnold, on West Galbraith Road. The couple has 2 children. Bernadette says Arnold told her Deandrea died of a drug overdose.
Which never sat right with me. From day one, it never made sense to me.
But Bernadette learned the truth about her daughter's tragic death this week when police arrested Arnold for killing Deandrea.
The allegations in this incident are the defendant assaulted the victim so violently that her head was internally decapitated from her body.
I don't know if y'all heard that, but they said that he beat her so bad that her head was internally decapitated from her body. Think about that.
Report, but I read it online.
Bernadette says she's struggling to understand what happened. She had been in contact with Arnold for months to speak with her grandchildren.
As far as I knew about him, he seemed to be okay. The kids loved him. They had issues like any other couple, but I never in a million years would have thought that this would have been the outcome of that situation. I'm more or less concerned about the kids because now they've lost both of their parents.
Bernadette says she wants people to remember Deandrea for being the life of the party, but for also overcoming struggles. She says she turned her life around for her children and was working at a nursing home.
She had a beautiful smile. And I just want people to remember that part, that she had a beautiful heart.
Mazio Arnold's case will go to grand jury on the 25th of this month. They will decide if he will be indicted for murder. We're live from the Justice Center. Courtney King, Fox 19 Now.
Okay, y'all, so let's go in. So this man beat the mother of his children so badly that he internally decapitated her. Now, I am in the healthcare field. Honestly, I'm ashamed to say I didn't even know that this was possible. He beat her so bad that her head separated from her spine. How bad do you have to beat someone for this to happen? Again, another case of a man who is supposed to love the woman that he's with, and he ends up murdering her. Ladies, this is every 5 hours. Every 5 hours, a woman or a little girl is murdered or harmed by someone who is supposed to love and take care of her. And unfortunately, 97, 98% of the time, it is a black man. This is very sad, y'all. This is sad that this 24-year-old young girl lost her life because of what? And then to think that he almost got away with it. I really don't understand how the mother was made to believe that she died of an overdose, but what I'm guessing is that the police wanted to keep this under wraps so that the children's father or her boyfriend didn't know that they were on to him, because I don't get, unless she tested positive for drugs and a large amount, I don't get how the mother thought for 6 months that her daughter had died of a drug overdose. But what's even more scary is the fact that the children were in his care for those 6 months. And how devastating does it have to be that not only do you find out that the person who you're still in contact with murdered your daughter, but also that he has custody of your grandkids. This must be very hard for this mother, but like I stated before in all my videos, ladies, please make sure that you're really evaluating the people that you're allowing in your life. I wonder if the kids were there when he was beating her that way. I wonder if the kids knew, or if the kids ever said anything or made any mention about it. I'm not sure how old her children were, but if they were all living in a home together, I wonder, did the kids witness their mom being beat to death? And as you heard the grandmother say, she said the kids loved them. She was in contact with them, and then to find out that he is the one that murdered her daughter. Very sad, and even more sad that she was actually turning her life around to take on that responsibility of becoming the mother that she was when she passed away. Ladies, I know my message on every video is pretty much the same, but that's because the more you hear something, the more you remember it and the more you understand it. And I just want to make sure that we all are evaluating everyone that we allow in our life. I want to make sure that we are researching, getting as much information on the people who are around us. In some of these situations, in the majority of these situations, you don't know who you're dealing with. Even if you know someone for years, some of the cases I covered, the women and men have been married for years, and never would anyone have thought that the men would actually end up murdering the woman. I saw a lot of comments. Basically, there are a lot of people coming to the page saying, "Oh, she should have knew who she was getting involved with." And I hate that narrative, because even though I preach, yes, research the people who you allow in your life, it's not to victim blame. And I feel like a lot of people do a lot of victim blaming. It is not these women's fault that the people they got involved with are pieces of shit. They have to be better men. Everyone is responsible for their own behavior. It is not the woman's fault because she chose the wrong man. The man needs to be better. So I want to make sure that although I am always saying do your research, find out who you're dealing with, it's for your own protection. It's not because it's your fault if you get involved with someone who's just not a good person. Unfortunately, in this world today, the majority of the people are not good people. And so we have to really protect ourselves. We have to be careful who we're allowing in our spaces. And another thing that's really going to be detrimental is the fact that the Roe versus Wade, and I haven't covered that on my channel, but I plan to. But I mean, it's going to make the situation a lot worse because there are a lot of rapes happening, even in broad daylight. And a lot of rapes are happening and women are ending up pregnant, and Roe versus Wade would not allow a termination of the pregnancy. So it's really getting very dire out here for women. Another thing I read was that they were going to start they were trying to start a law where child support began at conception, which to me doesn't even make sense because you don't even know if the child will survive. But that's going to make women's lives a lot more dangerous. How many stories have you read that the murderer of a pregnant woman ends up being the father of that child? If they pass a law that says that child support starts at conception, that is going to increase the murder rate and make it so much more dangerous for all women, not just Black women. So women, we have to be very, very cautious of our surroundings. We have to keep our head on swivel, unfortunately. We have to understand who we're getting involved with to the best of our ability. We have to exercise our Second Amendment rights and just stay safe and try to stay protected. May Deandrea Funchess rest in peace. May her family find peace. May those two little babies find peace. And I hope that they are awarded to the grandmother so that she can take care of them and give them the love that she gave her daughter, Deandrea. Thank you guys for joining me. I pray you guys are safe and I pray that you guys will be held and taken care of. And I will see you guys in the next video. Rest in peace.